going to do a tutorial on my salt wash paint. I did one about a year ago. It was really popular and I haven't done one since. And I have this little stool that I want to do this technique on. So I'm going to take you through the steps today of how I do my salt wash paint technique. And when it's finished, you will see the lovely chippiness and layered colors, and it's so easy to achieve. And all I used was just up some of my scrap paint that I've had laying around, and I mixed it into my salt wash paint. So I'll also put a link down below in the description and up above right here for my original salt wash paint tutorial, because it's really a fantastic project that I did with that one too. So okay, let's get started. Okay, so this is a little stool that I picked up at a yard sale. It was a couple dollars, already had this white coat of paint on it, and I of course decided to do a video after I'd already put a couple coats of my salt wash paint on this. So just be patient with me while I catch up and I explain what I've already done before I started to make the video. Basically, salt wash paint is just a paint recipe with some coarse salt mixed into it, which will leave a nice chunky finish of different layers of color. I like to use this recipe to use up all the tail ends of my paint that I have left over in all kinds of random colors. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just splotching this on wherever, anywhere on my project. And you just want to kind of just plop it on there. You don't want to brush it on. When you brush it on, you're not going to get that salt wash effect. You want to just dab it on. And now I had some red left over that I mixed up into the recipe, and I'm just dabbing it all over again, the whole project, and on the legs and around the side. I'll have the recipe for the salt wash paint at the end of this video. You can screenshot it and you can see the measurements that I use to make up this mixture. And if you have smaller amounts of paint like what I do, you can just adjust the recipe accordingly. So basically, anywhere where you have salt that you've dabbed on, when you sand it off, that will show the color that's underneath that piece of salt. I love the look of an old piece of furniture that has all kinds of different colors that you can see through, where it's chipped off here and there or worn. And this painting technique achieves this really well. And as you can see, I had a lot of old paint that was just waiting to be used for this project. So we're going to get a whole lot of colors coming through on this stool. So make sure you stay through to the end so you can see the result, because it's fantastic. And one thing that you should do after each color, you want to make sure it dries really well before you put the next color on. And you want to just get those all kind of layered up. Dry, put some on, dry, put some on. And then what I like to do is I like to put a final coat over the whole piece. So I'm just brushing on white chalk paint, no salt. This is not a salt wash paint recipe. This is just the chalk paint, and I'm going to paint over the whole stool, and that's going to be my top coat on my project. This white coat is going to kind of give it that look of what that last person that painted that stool was, the color that they used. And then we're going to scrape it all down and wait till you see what gets revealed. I've got that white coat of chalk paint all over it, and now I'm just going to let it dry really well. Get out that scraper, because now we're going to scrape it down and reveal all those colors underneath. And you don't have to have any sort of special method with doing this. Just scrape all of those lumps and chunks of paint off, and as you're doing that, you'll see all the wonderful colors underneath. And as you're scraping away, you can decide how far you want to go down, how much you want to scrape off. It's your preference. If you're kind of scraping off that top layer and you like the way it works, then you can give it a light sand and seal it up, and it's ready to go. So you kind of just play around with it and see what you like. Okay, I think I've scraped off all the big chunks off of it, and look at all these fantastic colors all mixed together. I just love it. I'm now going to take my sander. I have 80 grit sandpaper on it, and I'm just going to sand away until I see the finish that I like. And that's where you can just kind of do your own thing. If you're sanding and you like the way that it is, then leave it and seal it up. So I'm just going to work away here until I'm happy with the project. And this is really messy, so make sure you're doing it outside or in a garage. Don't do it inside your house or you will have a really big mess. And I always wear a mask when I'm doing this too, just for your safety. And I'm just going to take a damp rag so it brings out the colors and I can see kind of where I'm at, and then I'm going to just keep sanding. Okay, I decided to add a little bit of the white chalk paint on top of that, just to kind of mute down the colors a little bit. And then I'm going to take the scraper again and just expose a little bit of that color underneath. And I think I like it. I think with the bright colors showing through, it was a little bit too much. So I'm glad I kind of toned it down a little bit. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Now I'm just going to take a fine sandpaper, this is a 120 grit, and just give it a final sand all over the whole stool, just to take off any high edges. And I think I've got it to where I like it. So now I'm going to seal it with my water-based polyacrylic sealer. Okay, and it's all finished, and I love all the different colors of the paint peeking through, and I think it looks fantastic and old and vintage. So get that stash of paint out, mix it up into some salt wash paint, and give this technique a try. Here's the recipe for the salt wash paint. Make sure you take a screenshot and save it to your photos so you can go back and reference to it. Have fun! Thanks so much for watching today's video, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love to read them. I'll be sharing so many more DIY, thrifting, repurposing videos, so if you aren't already following along, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that will let you know when I upload my next video. See you real soon. Take care and have a great day.